Hey, Sister Mikki, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, welcome. Okay, can you state your name for the record and your what you do, your occupation?
I'm Mikki Roney. My occupation is I own my own grill on wheels. It's called Mikki and the Chef Ribs and Things Professional Catering Service.
All right. Cool. And also, you a supporter of Sister Maggie Rhodes, correct?
Yes.
So, could you tell me what happened? Were you also present that day on MLK Day at the National Civil Rights Museum?
Yes, I was. Actually, I was the one hosting it for her. But like I had tried to explain to her, by me doing the grill on wheels, I know that at certain places I just can't pull up in my grill on wheels, and then I'm giving out free food at that. I have to pay, like, to go to the Liberty Bowl, Cook Convention Center, stuff like that. But she was really adamant about it, and she really thought that no matter where in the world, if we go down here, that we will be welcome there. You know what I'm saying? So I went anyway. I had my chef find us a spot on the street, no problem. Where I parked, that's where I was going to be. I didn't need anyone's permission because this is what I do for a living. So I know where I can and cannot be because I'm big. I met you down there. You saw how big we are. I take up a lot of parking space. So I parked right there. That was fine. They went down there and were talking to a lot of people, and they kept running to me, telling me this, telling me that. I said, okay, let me go see what's going on. So I went down there, and there was another lady that they were speaking to, and I didn't really want to speak to her because she didn't know much. So I asked to speak to whoever's in charge. They brought me to another lady, which was the lady, what's her name, Sister what?
Faith Morris.
Yeah, Faith Morris. Yeah, and me and her had a nice conversation. That's why I'm just shocked that everything she said in the interview was all about me. She had me confused with someone else. I had one conversation with this lady, and I was done with it. I explained to her what we were doing there. I explained to her that they don't really understand. They're under the impression that, that they can just rally. And like I told them, they could hold their posters. I did not want them yelling. I had a bullhorn and everything for this, but I kept it in my van. I told them, and she had a whole bunch of college students with her. These were children with her. And then she even had one as young as 14 with her. So they was just holding the signs, and when somebody come up to read the signs and say something to them, they'll send them to me. And I would explain in more depth is why I'm feeding them, which I was feeding everyone for free on behalf of Maggie Rhodes and Ashton Rhodes. See what I'm saying? Just to get the word out, and I was letting everybody know that came to get some food. I was telling them to look us up, give us opinion, tell everybody if you got any information that will help us, let us know, because I'm not from Memphis. You see what I'm saying? So I'm from Michigan, but, I'm here now. And so the lady that I talked to, she was telling me, I explained to her what we were doing there. And, I had set up a meeting with Steve Cohen, and he normally comes, but you have to be ahead of time because he came when I did something similar to this. I was passing out outfits and free clothes to the children at the Lester Community Center. He came. So I did the same thing that I did before. What I didn't check was that he was at a church speaking on something about Martin Luther King health care. So he was busy that day. We all hoped he would come because he normally will. If he can, he will come. So we was hoping he would come, and I asked her, did they know if they were coming after the church? I didn't tell her he was coming. I didn't even talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So that was a misunderstanding. And see, that's one thing I don't do. I don't misunderstand anything, and I do not lie, do not fabricate. I speak clearly, you know what I'm saying, so they understand what I'm saying. I said, but if he comes, would they let us know? Because I wanted to let him know that I'm here, and I wanted him to speak to Maggie. But I already set up a whole nother meeting with him since we've been back from that. So that's a whole nother story. So she was saying, okay, well, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about a rally. I said, okay, well, I brought the kids and Maggie, and that's when she met Maggie. I said, this is Maggie. Here's Ashton. We had the baby there. And I said, these are the children, and these are the posters. And she read all the posters. I said, so you'll know what the posters are saying. Now, all they're going to do is stand there and hold the posters. Then they start saying that we had to pay $3. I got change from Brother Christopher Brown because I only had hundreds on me. I got change from he changed a $100 bill for me so I can give them a $20 bill because it costs $20 for all of them total to get in. And then Maggie had some extra for the other 4 kids that she had with her. But she was short $20 to get everybody the $3 band that they said that they had to get. Now, I stayed with my grill. because I was on the street and I know how it is. I didn't know if another vendor may have got that location, because if they paid for it, then I would have had to move, because don't no vendor want nobody next to them, and they selling food and I'm giving food away.
Right.
It's always a conflict. You see what I'm saying? But I was the only one there. I had no problems or anything. So everything was fine. People were coming and everything. And then the kids came. I hadn't even seen Maggie. The kids came running up to me very upset, telling me, man, Auntie Mikki, that's what they call me, Auntie Mikki, you would have went to jail. I said, what happened? They said they was cussing us out, cussing at us, talking about tearing up our signs. I said, who? And it happened to be a security guard with a hat to the back. The girl pointed at him. It's twins. And she said they lucky that my mother taught me how to respect my elders, because, man, it would have been on. I said, well, your mama didn't teach me to respect no elders. I'm 43 years old. I know they weren't cussing at y'all or cussing at Maggie in front of y'all. Y'all are kids. So they were telling me how to, when they wouldn't move, they went and got the Memphis police. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, where's Maggie? That's my first thing. Like, I know because she was really, serious about people knowing about what happened to her baby. I'm like, oh, Lord, where is Maggie? So by the time I got to go to that corner, because you seen where I was parked, because I met you there as well. You saw where I was. So I had, where I had to walk to go toward where they were. She was coming around the corner then, all huffing and puffing, telling me they was going to tear up my signs. I said, calm down. Y'all just come over here. And then there was some people behind them that weren't with us, that just was people. And they said that they saw this. And the first thing I said, y'all should have pulled out your cell phone. But at the moment, you don't think that. You know what I'm saying? They weren't thinking they pull out their phones or nothing. And Maggie's phone always dead anyway, so I wasn't even expecting her to have her phone out. And then two of the girls left the phones in my van in their coat pockets because they didn't have pockets on them. So, it went like that. I said, well, y'all just stay over here. The girls were so upset, they just said, I want to go. I fed them. I let them sit there and eat for a while and talk to a few people, and then they left. Because they was very upset. They weren't yelling or screaming, you know what I'm saying? I could see if they were doing that or jumping in front of people or any of that, you know what I'm saying? But when I heard the interview with Miss Faith, all she kept saying was about me. I never asked her to pull my grill anywhere. I already was parked. You see what I'm saying? She kept saying that I kept asking her to pull my grill up, and she kept explaining to me that I can't just pull up my grill. That upset me. Don't lie on me. And if you listen to the interview, she didn't even really talk about Maggie and what happened to her. She kept saying it was me. That she kept saying something to me. She never said anything to me. In fact, she gave me her card. We ended on good terms. She said if I have any problems with anybody, give her a call. That's why I gave Maggie the card. I said, call this lady, because she said if you have any problems down here, to call her. She said she told you that. I said that's the same thing. So I gave Maggie the card. That's how you ended up with the lady's number. You see what I'm saying? So I was just upset because I don't like that. I don't like that. Y'all the one killed, not you, but these people down here is the one who killed Martin Luther King. So don't be sitting up here trying to say we defaming him. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be historical, but it's just a constant reminder to me that this is where they killed him at. It's not nothing that I wanted to, because if I wanted to go there, I would have went, trust me. But it wasn't nothing. It made me sad, you know what I'm saying, to know this is where he got killed. When he came down here to help the people, that it was something about some unemployment they was going through, or the union, whatever he came down here for. Yeah, he came down here to help them, and they killed him. So to me, it's not really an honor. It was unfinished. So, I'm from a whole nother state, so I wasn't even excited to be there. I was strictly there for Ashton and Maggie. That was it. And she made it like we lying, and I don't have to lie. You understand? And them kids, the way them kids came around that corner upset, they were not lying. Maggie hadn't even told me. I hadn't even seen her. The children told me. What I was upset more about was that you cussing at kids. What is that? That's how they do it down here? That's what I be telling my family back home. Ain't no Southern hospitality down here, and these people are rude down here. Yeah, my daddy, they nice. No, they not daddy. You got to meet people like in my daddy's age to get the respect because I look young. I don't look 43. These kids is bad. The parents is bad. They cuss and they just talk to you any kind of way. It's not like you think it is when you hear about it from another state. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they
and
said
I'm
Memphis,
here.
Yeah, Memphis is a city of good abode, supposedly. As you said, they killed Dr. King down here, so And
they did.
Treat them kids the way allegedly they treat them kids wrongly on the day. So they but also you wasn't even on the property. You was on a public street.
Yes, I was. That's why when I said if she was talking to Ron, he know where I was parked, so I know he see that that's not true.
Mhm.
And the whole interview, all the way to the last breath in her body, she kept saying, I did not. I swear to God, I never asked her anything about my grill. I showed her that's where I'm going to be, and I'm giving away free food. She said, because you can't go near the vendors. I said, ma'am, I already know this. This is what I do. I own my own business. That's my business. I know this. I know how it goes. Maggie and them may have not known how it go. Someone else may have asked her, could we move closer? But it wasn't Mikki. You see what I'm saying? It was not me. I didn't ask her anything about my grill. I just let her know that's where I am and I'm giving away free food. And I told them if they hungry to come on and eat. That's what I said. I never said anything about because she kept on saying she just come in, can she pull up? Girl, no, you got me messed up with these Memphians. Don't lie on me. And they good at that. They flip the truth down here real fast.
Well,
and what I didn't like...
Well, I'm sorry. I actually, like she said, you did most of the talking. Is that true? Were you talking with her mostly? Besides,
I'm the one who asked to speak to her.
Okay.
No, I'm the one who asked to speak with her.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3 other ladies there. But they weren't in charge. I didn't want to speak to them. If I could speak to the person in charge, I want to speak to the person in charge. And that's the only thing that I said, and they went and got her. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm the last one she spoke to and the only one she spoke to. Maggie and them was sitting there using the chair that they had outside the administrative building, making some more signs on the blank canvases that the girls had brought. Mm-hmm. That's what Maggie was doing. She didn't have to say anything because she tried to talk to the other 3 ladies and they were upset. So that's what made me say, ain't no need of me talking to them because they're going to say the same thing that she just said. Let me speak to someone in charge. Mm-hmm. I never spoke to anyone but her. She was real nice and pleasant to me. I was real nice and pleasant to her. We shook hands. She gave me her card. I told them they could come down there and eat. And that was the end of it. You know, I had no problems with anyone other than when those children came around there and told me what happened to them. And then it was people that came behind them that had nothing to do with anything as far as us being there. They don't have to lie. These was grown people with kids. She said, and the lady said I was covering my daughter's ears. She had a little 7-year-old with her. She said I was covering my child's ears. But that's why I didn't like what about Miss Faye. She said she didn't know nothing about it. That's where she should have left it at. She should have stopped talking. When you don't know what you're talking about, you be quiet. If you had said, Mikki, when you left your grill, did you know that it was a fight by your grill or you and somebody in your group had a fight? I would have said, I didn't know nothing about that. I would have started asking questions. I would have, give my empathy or give some kind of something. I wouldn't have been going, we're all professionals because apparently you're not. Apparently you're not a professional because this did happen. This did happen. So, like I wrote in my post, because I was trying to share it, I couldn't share it. I don't know why I couldn't share it with you how I wanted to. So I took a picture of it after I made my... Yeah, and then I took a picture and sent it to everybody. Well, my whole thing was, I have proof that it happened. Does she? I have witnesses. I don't have to bring those children forward unless it's necessary. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And if you look at who I tagged, a couple of those kids that I tagged were the kids that was with us. You see what I'm saying? So don't play no games. And then she made it like that we weren't down there about Ashton. And then she made it, she almost said if what we said happened to Ashton was true. That pissed me off royally. Royally, do you hear me? That made me so mad. I was like, these people down here need to shut up. And they grown. If you don't know what you're talking about, be quiet. Ain't nothing wrong with asking no questions. There is no dumb questions in the world. There's not one dumb question. Ask some questions before you go to saying. And she said we was down there. We went down there on the right track. If we was down there about Ashton instead of trying to get something, what was we gonna get out of this? I mean, really, we didn't say we fell on the steps or anything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What was we going to get out of saying that this happened to these people? And I mean, what was we going to get? And you even asked her, is there anything that you can do on both ends? She didn't want to hear that. You remember asking her that?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I still think some good can come out of this, you know. I remember asking her.
Right. Right. I was like, oh, my goodness, this lady is steady talking. And then if she's a professional in the news and communication, then you should know to get your facts straight before you go to speaking. Like she said, she didn't know nothing about it till she read your blog. Therefore, that let me know right there. She read your blog, and then she responded. You called her. She responded. She didn't call and say, let me call these security guards to find out if anything like this happened. Maybe they misunderstood, because maybe the security guard's going to say, well, yeah, we did tell them, because you know they go, the fact that she didn't even ask anybody, did they say anything to those people? Regardless of how it went down, they either going to say, yes, we did tell them that they needed to move, and then it was going to be their word against ours. She didn't even go that far. You feel me? She just made it like this whole, like it never happened at all. None of this happened, period.
Well, you know, I'm surprised that you said it was some visitors that came to your truck and said they heard what happened to the supporters. I'm surprised nobody didn't talk to anybody in the museum then. I mean, she said nobody came.
No, they all stayed with me. In fact, remember, right after y'all took y'all pictures, it was like about a half an hour after y'all all left.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, I wish y'all had been here, because if y'all had been there, y'all would have been able to, you know, I wasn't thinking, all I was thinking is that I had the lady's card. She was in charge. Call her. That's it. That's all. I wasn't thinking go back around there. You know what I'm saying? But then Maggie went back around there anyway. You see what I'm saying? Because she paid her money. They paid their money. But I kept on saying, I don't want the kids, no, y'all come on and sit down and eat. And I let them come on, and some sat in the car, some sat in the van, and some leaned up against the grill. They ate, until they just couldn't eat no more. Because I wasn't giving people, like, especially kids, I was giving kids 2 hot dogs, 2 bags of chips, 2 pops to one child. I was trying to get rid of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to feed you. I ain't trying to give you a little snick, snack, and roll on out. I fed the parents and everybody, you know.
Do you find it strange that no grown person that was visiting the museum didn't find something wrong and talk to the administrators or the security?
That's what I said. Well, the lady that came around the corner that was said she was holding her 6-year-old daughter's ear was very upset. But that's how we are. And to see, most of these people here, I notice about the Memphians, they don't think that they can say anything. Man, I'm from Michigan. I'm going to say something, you do something to me. I don't care who you is. You're not going to disrespect me and do anything to me because I'm not from here. You can hear it in my voice that I'm not from here. You see what I'm saying? So they know I'm not from here, and I know how to fight for mine. So I'm glad I was not there, because it would have been a little bit ugly. I would have had their badge numbers. I would have been following them. You know what I'm saying? What the precinct you work for that you can threaten to tear up a sign? Really? That's what you want to do? I mean, I wouldn't have cussed them out and busted them upside the head or nothing, but I would have let them know, you finna hear from me, and I would have got, you know, I know how to think like that. You know what I'm saying? I would have thought ahead. Oh, you want to talk crazy? What's your name? Can I see your badge? How I even know you security? I'd have played it like that. Who is you? You know, they love to bust out their badges down here. I'm such and so. Oh, good, got that name. That's what I would have done. But we could describe him and everything. The man, it was the only one man down there was looking ghetto in his security outfit with the hat to the back. That's the only one down there. They know who he is. They know exactly who he is. Because he kept coming toward the end of the corner right there where I could see him standing from my grill. They all pointed at him at the same time. Them kids ain't got no reason to lie, and that's before I even saw Maggie. You know what I'm saying? Them children were not lying, and they went on back to college. They left college. We wouldn't, help pick them up from college for them to come down there and support. And you wouldn't think that. Ma'am, you can't hold your signs here. Y'all got to move. Even if they did give you a little lip, you know they was going to be upset. You are the adult. You are to be professional. This is your job, not theirs. You see what I'm saying? As long as they want, that's just the way it is. I have worked in so many situations where, man, I wanted to tell some people something, but you can't do that. You have to be professional at all times. But what threatening them to tear up their signs mean? Well, where that come in at? And that was from the police. So
Well, go ahead. You said police or security? Is it police? Memphis police that said that?
I think she said that. That's why I wanted her here. when we did the interview, so because I remember I basically got it from the children. Then she came around the corner huffing and puffing. I wish they would tell my sign. I was like, Maggie, don't go back around there. Come here. I had to calm her down. She had no coat on. It started getting chilly. I was giving her my coat, and then I reached in my pocket, and that's when I was like, oh, call her. Because I totally forgot I had the lady card. You know what I'm saying? So Maggie took the card and put it in her back pocket. And went on back around there. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, cool.
You know.
Maggie,
right.
You think you would do anything differently looking back on the situation? Because something been done differently?
Of course I would. Yeah, I would have. Well, I was too busy trying to watch the children. And, once they came around upset, and then I got other kids running to the grill because the little kids, even with their parents, they thought I was an ice cream truck. And I don't know if you was noticing how fast they was flying down that street. And my window was on the street side, which would normally be on the sidewalk side. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
I
was
couldn't get right. So that's basically if you paid attention, anytime you left and came back, I was standing right there in the street or leaned against my grill by that window because kids was just darting across there to me. You know what I'm saying? That's really another concern I had. I didn't want no child to get hit trying to come get no hot dogs, no chips. I didn't want that. So I never really left my grill. I never left. I had to open up my back door and serve them like that because my window was on the street side where the cars was flying down. And I mean, they was flying. I don't know why they was doing that. Can't go nowhere, but they was flying. So I didn't want nobody to. Yeah. Now, had my window had been on that side of the sidewalk, on the other side of the street from where we were, I would have went around there and said something to some people. But I figured I had her card. We could call her and tell her what happened. That was in my head at the time. It wasn't at the time to go get her because ain't no telling where she was because she said there was a lot of things going on down there. She said there was a lot of different things going on there. You know what I'm saying? So she explained that to me. She said there's a lot of different things going on. But she did know we were rallying. I told her we were. I said, I'm going to put the bullhorn in my van. Ain't going to be no yelling and screaming, but they're going to hold up these signs. If I have to stick them on my grill, we rallying. Rather, you know what I'm saying, we just doing it silently.
Well, Sister
and she never said no. She never said, no, y'all can't hold up them signs. She saw the signs. I made sure she saw them.
Okay. Well,
and I don't like that.
Oh, well, Sister Mick, I want to thank you for your point of view. I'll definitely get this out there and distribute it. I think it's very important to get so many sides of what's going on in the story. And I know the truth will eventually come out because it can't help but come out because the damage already been done.
Well, I asked her, do she have proof it didn't happen? And if she gonna come, because I got proof that it do, and I have phone numbers and everything for you if you need them. So I want her to. But the burden of proof isn't on us; it's on her. Because you claim that we're lying, and you claim that we're trying to put a bad taste in people's mouth about that museum. So it's your burden of proof because we're telling the truth. The truth will set you free no matter what. So if I have to get each one of these children to call you and let you know their version because they was actually there when the cursing and who cursed at them and who threatened to tear them up, tear up their sign, and if anybody touched them, they will tell you.
Okay.
But I didn't want to go through all that unless she can come on and prove that she even talked to anybody. I'm challenging her to even speak to somebody that was there that day and that we're talking about to say that they never said anything to them.
Sister Mickey, thank you so much for your time and for your insight on what happened that day. It's unfortunate if it didn't happen of that magnitude, but, like I said, the truth will come out eventually, and I'll put this out as well. Thank you so much.
And thank you for your interest in it and keeping it, I'm not keeping it quiet.
No problem. I'm not used to being quiet, so you take care of yourself.
You too. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.